As soon as I wake up, I'm grateful. Having a meal, I'm grateful. Going for a walk, I'm grateful. I'm working out, I'm grateful. Talking to somebody, I'm grateful. Whether meeting 𝘂𝗏𝗏 also I'm very grateful. I recently met him. Alignment of mind, body, and soul. But if you see in today's world, there are a lot of frictions, there are a lot of disconnections, that we are actually not connected and misaligned in many ways. That's why there are so many cases of people having so much of stress, right? Some people use some fancy words of stress, depressed, right? 𝘪𝗪 आजकल बोल रहा है, oh, I'm so depressed. What a depressing weather. What a depressing life. What a boring life. What a boring weather, right? Why is that happening? Why is that people are more educated today? We are more educated, yes or no? We are technologically very advanced. Think about the days when we were growing up and there was no cell phone. There were not technologies that we have today. But despite of so many technological advancements, right? Imagine the universities and the schools and colleges when we were growing up. Think about your hometown. How many schools were there? Gin chun ke 2 ya 3. There were hardly 2 or maximum 3 best schools, right? Our town had 2 English medium schools when I was growing up, just 2, right? Of course, Sarkari school was there, the government school was there, 1 or 2 government schools, but barely 2 or 3 choices. Either you go to these 2 private English medium school or you go to government school, 1 or 2. That's all. Today, how many schools do you have in your city or town, right? If not hundreds, I'm sure dozens of schools. So schooling has grown, technology has grown, but with that, the load on the mind has grown, the pressure on the mind has grown, the distraction has grown, and so has been the stress. बहुत stress है, तो ऐसा क्यों है? पैसे ज़्यादा है, knowledge ज़्यादा है, technology ज़्यादा है, साथ में stress भी ज़्यादा है. Think about this, that when we were small, when we were growing up, knowledge was less, technology was less, education was less, so was the stress, so was the worry. कुछ तो हुआ है ना हमारी लाइफ में. एक चीज़ हुई है, is because disconnection हुआ है, misalignment हुई है. Between what? क्या disconnection हुआ है? क्या misalignment हुआ है? There's a disconnection between mind, body, and soul. Mind has not been connected to body, body has not been connected to mind, and both of them are not connected to soul. So what is happening is, as a kid, this was perfectly aligned. It is a by default state. So God had given us this aligned factory setting, which is the mind, the body, and soul was completely aligned. But what happened is, because of what we did, we disconnected. Either mind is disconnected, either body got disconnected, right? And we continue to stay in that state even while growing up. So what happens then? Then the mind, body, and soul actually sends a signal. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. If you get into the low vibration very often, if you feel the pressure very often, if you're not in that happy state a lot of times or most of time, then this is a signal that your alignment is not there. Some misalignment has happened, and that misalignment shows up in multiple ways, right? Your emotions will fluctuate a lot. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum, right? Sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes excited, right? A lot of mental imbalance. That is a sign of disconnection. And that will show up on your body as well. You'll start falling sick easily, right? You'll start putting on more weight. You'll have low energy, right? It's because this is the sign of misalignment. You're not in a happy state all the time. Misalignment of soul. You're not in that grateful mood all the time. Again, disconnection of the soul. You're not fully able to experience life and the emotions. You're not able to express fully because there's a misalignment. So, सबसे बड़ा question है, how do we do this alignment? How do we make sure that the mind, body, and soul is completely aligned? And that's why you connect to the higher universe. And there's an alignment. Things get into the state of flow. Things become very effortless. Life becomes more joyful, peaceful, happier. When there's an alignment, and you can't get that alignment by just thinking that, oh, I'm gonna just do my prayers and rituals. That is just one part of it. I've seen so many people, very religious, following the prayers, going to the mosque, going to the temple, going to the church, but completely disturbed in their life, right? They're seeking the solace with God, but without having their own connection, without being aligned, right? And the reason why that is happening is of a lot of distraction, right? And also, I'll give you one example of how these all three are very important to be aligned, right? An easy way to understand why these three needs to be aligned is just think about the memories. Where does the memory get stored? Memory is everywhere in your body. So it gets stored in the mind as well as gets stored in the body, as well as, have you heard of karmic account? All your karma gets registered somewhere. That is your soul memory. So where does the memory get stored? All three places: mind, body, and soul. You understand? Memory gets stored in all three places. And because of which, whatever you get is the return. There are some people who are afraid of water. Some people are afraid of height, and they are young. उनके दिमाग में कभी memory गया नहीं, but still they are so scared of it. Body also has no memory of it. Mind also does not have memory of it. But where is this phobia coming from? Which memory? The soul memory. Yes, past life mein there has been something that has happened, which is your karmic account carried forward to the new life. So now you understand that all three have memories. And that's why all three needs to be connected and aligned. And there is something called anchor state. What is this anchor state? The anchor state is the state that it's your home state. जैसे thermostat होता है ना, fridge में, air condition में, that's your home state. Some people have the home state, which is very calm, peaceful, and relaxed, and grateful. That is their home state, which is the by default state. So कहीं भी पूरा दुनिया घूम के आएंगे, they will come back to their home state. Their emotion will go up and down, but they'll come back to the home state. Somebody's home state is stress. They will by default make their life very stressful because that is their home state. They will behave in such a way that they'll bring the stress in their life because that is their home state. That is their by default. Chaotic. Somebody's home state is pain, and that's where they find a way to induce the pain in themselves. And they say, oh, my life is always painful, because that is their home state. Their body language, their words, their action, their karma, everything would be connected to the pain. That is a familiar territory. It's a home state is pain. And that is what we need to change from low vibration states to the higher vibration. Go to that state and stay in that state most of the time, right? And the state can change, your home state can change. जैसे हम घर बदलते हैं ना, physical house we can change. The same thing, our mental, emotional, right? The physical and the spiritual state can also change. We can create a different home base, right? You know, what is my current home state? I'm mostly, of course, I may deviate here and there because of some situation. My default home state is gratefulness. As soon as I wake up, I'm grateful. Having a meal, I'm grateful. Going for a walk, I'm grateful. I'm working out, I'm grateful. Talking to somebody, I'm grateful. Whether meeting Amir Khan, so I'm very grateful. I recently met him. Meeting all of you guys, grateful. Doing this session, grateful. That's my home state. So दुनिया इधर की उधर हो जाए, I come back to my home state. होता ना? सुबह कितना भी दुनिया घूम लो, वापस तो घर ही आना है. Right? You keep traveling the whole world, you have to come back home. And that's where we need the home state has to be the high vibration. Some people are very courageous because that's their home state, right? And you consciously work to keep upgrading your home state. Like we upgrade a lot of things in our life, right? Cars we upgrade, home we upgrade, right? Mobile phones we upgrade. But the most important upgrade is our home state. That's the most important state. That when you're in a high vibration home state, whether you're living in slums or you're living in palace, you're always in that high vibration home state. There could be some people living in the palaces or posh areas and houses, but their home state is so poor. They're always in the stress, worry, frustration, anger, depression. The materialistic things to bahut hai. Success and accomplishment is a lot, but their home state has not been upgraded. And on the other hand, there could be many. You may not have a lot of money or abundance in terms of the success, accomplishment yet, but your home state may be very positive and happy and joyful and peaceful. Then who is rich? Who is actually rich then? Isn't that interesting, right? Our life, the richness of life is not defined on which physical home we stay in, but is the mental, emotional, right? Our body and our spiritual state that we stay in. That is our actual home. And you can only have that home and you can upgrade that state and all three are aligned. Mind, body, and soul are aligned. That is defined, that is going to define your financial state and your social state, which is your relationship state. Why people are not happy in a relationship? Many people, so many people not happy in their relationship because they're not aligned with mind, body, and soul. So that means something is misaligned. Something is misaligned, something is broken, something is wounded in the mind or body or soul. And one wounded person is trying to live with another wounded person, right? One wounded person trying to extract, right, something from somebody. Like, I'm not in a happy state, let me extract happiness from the other person. When you do this, only then I feel loved. When you do this, then only I feel cared for. That's just trying to extract. But the thing is, our default state should be happy and not looking to extract happiness from somebody or peace from somebody, joy from somebody. That is our default state. That should be our home. And when somebody comes to us, they should be able to experience that in our company, isn't it? When somebody comes to us, they should be the one who should be experiencing this love, joy, and happiness, not the other way around, that we try to extract that from somebody. And that only happens when you have this alignment of mind, body, and soul. Think about this. Maybe you might be having great mind, but not a healthy body, which is, again, all three are interconnected, right? You may have good soul, you may have a good body, but if the mind is not aligned, a lot of chaos in your life, a lot of challenge in your life. But सबसे important question here, how do we align all three so that we can create our home base, right? So that means, let's say if I have to have my peace as a home base, my mind has to be peaceful, my body has to be peaceful, and my soul has to be peaceful. If my by default is grateful, that my mind has to be grateful, body has to be grateful, my soul has to be grateful. It cannot be just two are grateful and third is not. To have this alignment, there are basically 4 tools that is available. These 4 tools will help you to continue to have this alignment. And most important tool is breathing, which is by default given to all of us for free. But we have never focused on this tool as breathing for alignment. I'll give you an example of how this breathing is so powerful and is connected to mind, body, and soul. When you're feeling anxious, or let's say extreme emotion, when you're feeling angry, what changes first? Your breathing changes first, right? Your body sensation changes and your soul gets disturbed. You understand? Because that breathing is connecting your mind, body, and soul, right? If you're peaceful, how would your breathing be? Calm, slow, right? And because whatever you're breathing is channeling your energy through mind, body, and soul. So that's why there are a lot of breathing practices in our ancient yoga, right? Why do you think there are breathing practices? Because it was the tool to align our mind, body, and soul. But our school and education system did not teach us this. That's why we became misaligned. That should be the first education. That was the true education, to understand more about breathing. Right? How do you improve breathing? Is, and this is the subconscious part of our body and, mind and soul. That breathing, you don't have to consciously think about breathing. When you get nervous, your breathing changes. When you get angry, your breathing changes. The first change is in your body through the breathing. Then is the feeling, and then the soul. That's why if you go to Vipassana, the first thing they teach you is just to observe your breath. That's the first thing it teaches you. Shallow breaths, shallow life. A lot of people are shallow breather. Relaxed breath, relaxed life. Okay, right now, I want you to consciously think how you're breathing. Are you taking slow, deep breath? Why do you think the tortoise lives longer than most of the species? Tortoise breathes so slow, right? So our breath should be slow and longer. Inhaling slowly and longer. Exhaling also slowly and longer. Okay, let's practice this, okay? Take deep breaths. Just take the normal, slow, deep breaths. Release and release. Breathe from your nose only, it's okay. Whenever you feel there is something which is not aligned in your life, just go back to this tool. I know you are a soul looking for liberation and freedom and happiness.
And I actually want to invite you to a unique Passionpreneur Satsang. See, this is a place where we discuss about spirituality, where we talk about dharma, karma, sanskar. And I think this is one place which helps people to get rid of all the worry, stress, and anxiety and charge their batteries, their soul power in optimum way. So if you want to join us every Saturday, 9 a.m., please check out the link and book your seat right now, as long as it is available, because we have limited seats up to 1,000. And right now, we are sponsoring all the people. So join us in the Passionpreneur Satsang.